And as I'm running back to the dude, he pulls his pistol out and point blank shoots at me, Joe, like, pow. And as it went past my face, I was like, oh, shit.
You were wrongfully committed of murder. You spent 22 years on death row before you were exonerated by DNA evidence.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nick Yarris, and I was, as Joe said, convicted and sentenced to die for a rape and murder I didn't commit at the age of 21. Mrs. Craig was murdered in Delaware. I had never met the woman. I was in prison on unrelated charges, and I stupidly made up a story to try and get out of those charges. The police soon realized that I was a liar, and they fabricated the charges around me then. So it's ironic that in a few days you're going to Upper Darby, Pennsylvania. And that's where the murder happened, really, basically. And Linda Mae Craig was leaving her job at 4:05 p.m. on December 15th, 1981. She's going home. She gets abducted. I don't know any of this, but I tried in desperation to get out of a lie that this officer put on me. I got pulled over in a stolen car. The cop beats me up. He puts charges on me. I'm facing life imprisonment, and I'm a junkie. Because all of my life I was destroyed by what happened to me at the age of 7. I had my head beaten in by a man with a rock in his hand after he sexually assaulted me. And I did all the stupid things that people can do in the aftermath. I kept it a secret, and I let it foster all the anger in me. I became very aggressive as a child, and I ended up in trouble all the time. And when I was in prison on these unrelated charges to the murder, I stupidly fell into that mindset of desperation of trying to get out of it. So the police put a prisoner in the cell next to me. He said I confessed to him. I was given a 3-day trial. I was sentenced to death and put on death row. And then, stupidly, I escaped from prison in 1985 and ended up on the FBI's most wanted list.
How'd you get out?
I was being transported to court, and the sheriffs were being cool with me at first. They were talking about what was going on in Philly. They were two nice guys, like 60, 68, 67. And we drove 5 hours from one of the hardest prisons in America called Huntington. And I left there after spending 2 years of my first 2 years in silence. So if you opened your mouth, they would come in and beat your head in. So I was so glad to get in the car because my mom was waiting in my lawyer's office because they were going to give me a review of my trial because they withheld so much evidence. So I was eager to go to court. And it was the coldest day of 1985, February 15th. We stopped at a gas station in Exton, Pennsylvania. And as I got out of the car, the officer driving pulled past the cubicles. Now, we all got out of the car and ran over to the cubicle together, and I went in and started peeing. And the officer's holding the door for me, and my eyeglasses start fogging up. You know what I mean? Because you go from the freezing cold to the warm to the cold, your eyeglasses. So all I know is I turn around and I come out, and he has the door like that, and I put my head down, go under his arm, and I turn left and go back to the car, and the dude smoking a cigarette doesn't know that his partner went into the cubicle to piss. And as I'm running back to the dude, he pulls his pistol out and point blank shoots at me, Joe, like, pow. And as it went past my face, I was like, oh, shit. I hit the ground. I ran, and he's following me with the gun. I could feel it like I was waiting for him to blast me, you know?
Why did he shoot at you?
Because he thought I overpowered his partner.
Oh.
He doesn't know. His testimony at trial was, I turn around, Nick's running at me, my partner's down or gone. I pulled my gun, and he runs, and I wasn't going to let a death row prisoner run, so I tried to stop him. I shot. So I run around the corner, I hit the ground, I ripped all the skin off my hands. I run around the corner and I fly towards this restaurant, and there's all these people innocently eating dinner. And I'm running right towards the plate glass window because he ain't going to blast me, you know? And I ran like I knew he couldn't shoot. And then I shot around the corner and I ran down to a gas station. I tried to steal a car. That didn't work. Then I ran like 400 yards, 400 yards, 400 yards, and I hid behind the car I just escaped from. And I was laying in the weeds behind the gas station about 50 yards from them while they were screaming, who was the bigger idiot for letting this happen? And I was thinking, oh my God, what am I doing? What do I do, Joe? How do I just jump up and say, wait a minute, it was a mistake. They already tried to shoot me in the face.
Right.
So I go hide behind the police station, and next 4 hours, oh my God, I'm being chased by a helicopter. And he chases me, and he pins me, and he chases me. And I was so fit that I ran for 4 hours through the woods without caring what the branches did to my face or nothing, man. I blew out both quads. I did hamstrings. I ripped my feet open. I ran so hard in terror that I didn't care, man. And I got away. And I made it all the way to Florida, and I was going to leave the country and all this. And I said, I got to go back.
How did you get to Florida?
I stole a dude's wallet in New York, and I got on an airplane, and I went down to Florida, and I tried to rob a drug dealer, and I tried to do I was sitting there, I was so angry, I was going to kill myself. I was on, I'll never forget this day. I didn't want my folks to see me in prison handcuffs no more, you know. I was going to buy a raft, and I was going to go out in the ocean, and I was going to have one last party with all the foods that I loved. Then I was going to stab the raft, wait for the sharks after I cut my wrist, and then I was going to cap myself and go. Then I said, no, I'm going back. So I turned myself back in. They put me on death row in Florida. And I went back and I faced it, and it beat me for 4 minutes, man. They broke my face, broke my back, crushed me, man, tortured me. And I thought, I'm going to get you back. You know, all the days you made me go in a cage and beat some other prisoner while you stood there with a club laughing at me. I'm going to get you back. I'm going to make sure I start being a loving person again.